Hi everyone, it's Chenzo from Reality Art Pod, here to talk about the Traitors Season 3, Episode 1, titled Let Battle Commence. This will be my second season covering the Traitors, and you can check out my cast assessment if you'd like to learn more about this cast before diving in. They dropped 3 episodes, so I'm going to stay up all night watching each one, then making a video before watching the next. So expect 2 more video drops as the night goes on. If you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like the video and subscribe if you haven't. As always, my recaps aren't meant to replace the original material, so if you missed the episode, I highly encourage you to seek it out on Peacock to enjoy and form your own opinion first. But let's dive into it. The show begins with our host who returns Alan Cumming, who starts with a poem in a fur looking stunning. The players arrive at the castle with first introduction to Dorinda, who's ready to swap out the Berkshires for the castle. Tony downplays his Survivor career, telling the others that all he was doing on Survivor was eating bugs. Danielle Reyes gets emotional, sharing that she was betrayed by Brittany, who, what a coincidence, is in another car on the way to the same castle. At the castle, they're met by an army of hooded figures. Nikki and Gabby already hate Tom Sandoval and want to shun him. Jeremy sees a familiar face in Tony who has betrayed him in the past, but he wants to keep Tony close. They meet newer survivor Cookie Carolyn. The players make all kinds of introductions. Brittany and Danielle have an emotional reunion. Brittany apologizes to Danielle for betraying Danielle on Big Brother Reindeer Games, which was a great show. Too bad you can't watch it. Alan pulls up on horseback wearing a blue kilt and a cape adorned with his initials. Alan explains that a few of them will be picked as traitors and will secretly murder the faithfuls with the goal of remaining undetected and making away with the money in the end. Alan sends his minions away, but one hangs back. Alan offers them a tough decision. If anyone would like the mystery player to join the game, they just need to shake Alan's hand, and the mystery player will replace a player of their choice in the game. The mystery player reveals himself to be Peacock Darling Boston Rob. Rob pleads that they should eliminate an enemy and gain an ally. Alan puts his hand out, and these players should leave that hand alone if they're smart. So nobody does shake Alan's hand. And through this, Boston Rob is the first person eliminated from the Traitors. Rob says it best here.
It's bullshit.
The players mingle. Ayan is happy that she got to stay so she can show her looks. She has no idea what's going on. Tony tells the survivors and Wells that he wants to be a faithful. Carolyn isn't buying it and calls him out. Carolyn terrifies Tony, and Wells has no idea how to play. Most of the players are just having fun in the castle. Iva explains that he's a cousin of a royal. In confessional, Gabby is freaked out by how put together he is. He tells them how he was married to a woman for 17 years, but is now married to a man, which gets Gabby being friendly to him. They have one-on-ones with Alan to decide the traitors. Many of them want to be traitors for different reasons. Nikki wants a victory outside the ring. Jeremy wants money for his family. Dolores wants to be naughty for once. Carolyn and Tony beg for it. Tom asks to be a faithful. The players are seated at the round table and blindfolded. The players that Alan taps on the shoulder will be the traitors. Alan taps Danielle, Carolyn, and Bob the Drag Queen as the traitors. They take their blindfolds off. Tom is grilling everyone. Bob the Drag Queen is already agitated with Tom and wanting to murder his ass. Alan announces that the game has changed. If they make it to the final, they won't be revealing if they're traitors as they leave, and will be relying on instinct. Alan leaves and the players start to unwind. Tony is so disappointed in Alan for not picking him, and Tony's plan is to start pointing fingers as soon as possible. Chriselle tells Tony that she's gonna need his detective skills. Soon after, Tom quickly starts accusing Chriselle of scared body language. So Tom is smearing Chriselle to Tony, and Tony brings up Chriselle's comment about the detective skills, showing that Tony will jump on whatever bandwagon he can. Bob is loving being a traitor already, acting comfortable and laid back, telling us they're born for the role. Wannabe traitor hunter Tom sits down with traitors Carolyn and Danielle and tells them that he feels confident that they're faithfuls. Dylan runs to Chriselle and tells Chriselle that Tom is coming for her. Chriselle reveals that she's friends with Tom's ex Ariana, who he's notoriously cheated on, so she feels like that's why he's targeting her. Head to their first mission. Dylan is excited for the missions and thinks he's going to be an asset. Bob is one of the only people who can joke about being the traitor and get away with it. At the mission, firstly, Alan is wearing a BDSM version of his outfit from this morning. They get to a Viking boat that they need to paddle around the lock. They'll get to 3 pontoons to collect fuel canisters. The fuel will set a ring on fire at the shore. They can also collect gold along the way. That will contribute to the prize pot. At the end, when they light the ring of fire, any gold in the ring of fire will go to the pot. Any of the players within the ring of fire will get a shield and be safe from murder. If they don't light the fire, nobody is safe and no money is earned. They get started with Wells and Sierra leading the team in comical chaos as the boat goes nowhere. Bob the Drag Queen somehow knows that magically teaching the group to say heave ho will make the group learn to paddle, so they all start saying heave ho and suddenly start paddling correctly, which was hilarious.
When they say heave, you say ho. It makes you keep time. Heave, ho.
At the first pontoon, they have to sacrifice 2 players to get the fuel canister. Nobody wants to volunteer, but Robin and Aeon decide to sacrifice themselves. I'll talk about that later. At the next station, they have to sacrifice 2 more players for $10,000. Dorinda and Dolores quickly volunteer. The players get suspicious of the housewives for this, and Dorinda and Dolores realize they're going to be targeted. At the next pontoon, where they get more fuel, Iva makes a comment that they need the men to paddle back, which pisses Bob the Drag Queen off because they keep leaving the women behind, and they insinuate that this plan is sexist. So Bob the Drag Queen steps off, Danielle steps off too, pretending to be upset and cry, but neither of them need the safety because both are traitors. Bob plays up to Danielle that they fear being murdered, and Danielle says she's a human lie detector as she's being lied to. At the next fuel station, they sacrifice Bob, Harper, and Sam. Now that they have all the fuel to make the fire, the players on the boat debate getting more money or going back to shore and being safe. Nobody wants to volunteer, so they head back to shore and light it up, earning $20,000 and shields for Iva, Nikki, Chriselle, Wells, Gabby, Sierra, Brittany, Caroline, Tony,
Donna, Lynn, Pat, Lori, Shelly, Aaliyah, Rose,
Jeremy, Tom, and Dylan. The shielded players head back to the castle first, and the players they left on the lock come back later. Dorinda is agitated. Back at the house, the women praise Bob the Drag Queen amongst themselves with respect for standing up for them in the challenge. When the sacrifices come back, Bob instigates the drama by rounding everyone up in one room. Danielle storms off. She's playing up that she is annoyed that they cost the group money as she pushes out fake tears into her peppers. Dorinda is starting. She's coming for the people who sacrificed her. Dorinda tries to defend herself, and Iva starts calling Dorinda a traitor. She storms upstairs. The players head to their rooms where they take weirdly sexual showers and boozy bubble baths. Meanwhile, the traitors take their oath and head to the turret. Bob and Danielle are first to uncloak. These two are eating each other up, and when Carolyn joins them, they're shocked. The episode ends with Alan explaining the consequence for the players' actions. Since the players rejected Rob, Rob is taken out to the woods as an exiled player. He's told that the next day he'll enter the game as a traitor. The traitors won't know he's a traitor until he joins them in the turret. He also won't be alone as there are some other players hanging around to join him, and that's when the episode ends. Closing thoughts, I love these traitor picks. As I said in my cast assessment, I would have picked Danielle, Bob the Drag Queen, and Gabby as traitors. I still stand by my Gabby pick. I love her messy ass. Carolyn has exceeded my expectations so far, as I thought her mannerisms would make people suspicious of her, but it seems like she can get away with anything. There's the relationship between Danielle and Brittany. Who knew that one episode of Reindeer Games would be so canon? I feel like Danielle will come out on top, but her go-to strategy seems to be to cry, which is a unique new tactic for her. I love the challenge they played. It created drama right away. So many times the first few votes are based off of who's breathing funny. This seemed to have real stakes and will get things going right off the bat. Robin exceeding nobody's expectations by making such a bad move stepping off first. These housewives made themselves look so suspicious. The traitors shouldn't murder any of the housewives. They should murder Sam because he made himself look really faithful, unsuspicious, and he already took a shower on camera. His work here is done. Traitor Bob is misting everyone already, and he might have something that Boss and Rob has never faced off with before. I don't know what was going on with this Boss and Rob twist. They obviously knew that the players would make this choice. The other exiled players are probably 2 men since the cast is way more women than men. I heard rumors that Wes would be there. Maybe he's one of them. I really hope not after he ruined House of Villains, but I guess I'll find out in 5 minutes. I'll be back. Also, I'm gonna pour myself some wine. I'll be back in a few hours with episode 2. If you like what I'm doing, give me a like, subscribe so you don't miss the other recaps, and I'll see you later.